There's debates that he wants to open up that I didn't even know we could have as a Canadian. When Roe versus Wade got overturned in the States, there was a lot of people in Canada going, is abortion legal here? Like, what's our take on that? What is our position on that? Because we're so quiet on it. We don't talk about it. We don't fight it. We don't do much about it at all. We're actually quite accepting of the fact that we have one of the most progressive abortion programs in the world. We do pre-life abortion, like pre-birth abortion. We do post. We do middle, end of life, middle of life. We do lots. Like, we are incredibly progressive on these subjects. Maids, we're incredibly progressive on that. And it wasn't until really Maxime saying, look, let's reopen that debate. And then we saw how much resistance he started to get. He's onto something. What can I say? I can tell you he's not perfect, but he certainly got my attention. Gender-based abortion, Tammy, we spoke about that with Max directly. Gender-based. He was actually careful to call it sex-based. I called it gender-based and genetic-based. He called it sex-based, which is closer to the science, right? Gender is the language version of sex. And there's still only two of those, by the way. I'm not heading into the direction that there's a flexible, fluid option there. It's still, there's only two. But it's the language. It's the adding sex to words. That's what gender is. And I'm cool with that. He's over there. She's over there. It's easy to describe and explain. But Max said sex. And yeah, this is headed towards, already is. What did he say? There was 100 late-term abortions in Canada. That's 2 a week. 2 a week. Murders. 2 a week. And we're not upset about that. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of 100 late-term abortions. And those are the late-term ones. What about the midterm and the preterm and the genetic-based ones and the sex-based ones? How many sex-based abortions are happening? Oh, we're not talking about that one. And I know why. I know why. I already got touched by that. And what do I mean by that? Well, I started this. You guys have been around for a year or so. Some of you not, but I started this about a year ago. And if you ever try this, it's not easy. I started off with 0 followers. Okay. Twitter, Getter, Gab, all those things. I created a bunch of accounts, started with 0 followers. Very early, there was this follower who followed me on Getter and Twitter. I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, cool. Chat, support. Go. Independent. That's a great way to go. Go. And without telling her my position, I asked, because she was giving me some good advice about how to work on Twitter, how to find shadow banning, this kind of stuff, like how to, and I found some. I was actually shadow banned on some stuff. Thanks to her, I found out and fixed it. So I asked her, I'm like, look, how do I approach the abortion topic? Didn't tell her which side I was on, didn't say anything. I just asked, like, how do I approach the abortion topic? And she freaked out. Don't you dare bring that up again. Don't you ever talk about that again. That is something you don't talk about. So we cut ties. I'm like, well, that's just not how I work. Nobody can tell me what I can and can't talk about, not even a supporter. I'm sad that that's the case. If you have to go your way, you have my number type of attitude. But I was really taken aback that it can't be talked about. I didn't even tell her my position. I could have been pro-choice. She didn't know. But yet just bringing it up as a topic was enough to get her to say, look, followed you for months. I like a lot of your stuff. You have write the messages, but this one I'm going to leave you on. And she did. We didn't chat for about 3-4 months. And then one day she liked something. And then liked another thing. And then put a comment on. So I reached out and said, hey, nice to see you again. Missed ya. And then she apologized. She said she was going through some things personally and got really upset and took it out on the wrong person. This is what she's admitted to. I'm like, that's great. Thank you very much. But is there a chance that maybe she doesn't like a decision that she had? made previously, whether it was for herself or someone else or someone close or someone she loves, or it felt like that was a very close decision to her. And she felt like I was going to judge in the opposite way the decision making there. That made me a little sad because I'm not going to judge. It's not my job. It's God, and it's not my job. But I'm certainly going to take a look at, analyze, get my own opinion, have my feelings towards you. It's all going to matter. It's going to matter, and that's being human. Let me tell you about another one. And this relationship is still there, but it's very strained and it's very difficult to have full open conversations with. So I have a really good friend, um, over 20 years. It's well before my wife and I got together. And we're tech. Okay. So we're tech. He's tech, I'm tech, we're nerd, he's nerd. We're like super nerds. And when we get together, you get like ultra mega super nerds. It's if you're in it, it's amazing. If you're watching it, it's probably like watching aliens chatter. That's how close we were and on everything, like everything. Recently, we're chatting again, and things got uncomfortable because I'm very proud of my son Jacob. I love him to death. He's awesome. Couldn't be more happy to have him in our lives. So I'm talking about that. But you could tell there was something not quite right. So I probed a bit. I'm like, hey, dude, like, what's up? So he told me a secret. And again, I'm going to share it with you without telling you who he is and stuff. I could also it could be a female. And I'm using he to throw you off. I'm not going to tell you who it is, and nor would you figure it out. It would be very, very impressive if you could figure out who this is. But he let me know that they decided not to have their Down syndrome child. They made that choice. They're living with that choice. And clearly it bothers him when he's reminded of that choice. And I get it. I get it. We were presented with that choice. And being the analytical, spiritual, all that stuff, we were considering all of that. Will we be able to see a child with Down syndrome walk around? Will that bother us? And yeah, of course it would. You always hear the stories of regret. Okay. And now I'm seeing it real time. Just a simple fact that we made a choice that we're happy with. And he doesn't disagree with our choice. That's not what I'm saying here. He absolutely supports us and he thinks Jacob's lovely and beautiful. But he has his own problem now because every single time he talks to me, I'm the one that has a child that's roughly the age of what his child would have been. And that decision has really changed part of our relationship. It's put this cloud over it, which is difficult. It is difficult. Now, yes, he's left leaning. Lots of the stuff he's left on. He's got a lot of things that we disagree on, but we can talk and we can be open about it. And we've always been able to, but not this subject. This subject was too personal. And I think that's kind of what happened. Yes, we don't bring up abortion. Yes, we don't debate it. Yes, we don't talk about the moralities of it or the legalities of it or even the practicalities of it. Yes, we don't do any of that. And is that because there's a lot of people who are closely touched by it and it's just really, really, really sore spot for them now? Ooh, maybe. So look, we are for having children. We are for loving children. We are for accepting children. We're not for changing children. We're not for making decisions that are best for the parents, counter to the decision for the children. And we're certainly not for making decisions and responding to situations you find yourself into that include end of life in any facet. And that includes the decision to have abortion or the decision to care for a patient with mental illness or dementia, and then making the choice that they should get end of life care, which is what MAIDS is providing. So, look, tough decisions have to be made, but I'm not for abortion. I'm not for maids. I had someone attack me on Twitter saying you're a heartless creep because there's people that suffer that needs maids. No, they don't. They need end of life care. They need palliative care. They need their family there. And why can I say that? Because I did that for my mom. She passed young. She had Crohn's, she had COPD, she had depression, she had a lot of things going on for her, but she didn't get maids. No, we would have lost time with her. Did she suffer? Yeah, sometimes she did. Was she in pain? Yeah. Septic shock is what she died of at the end. It sucks. It all sucks. But we were there to love her till the end. She felt that love till the end. This is end of life. We call it end of life care. Maids isn't end of life care. That's end of life choice. That's not care. Choice and care are not the same thing. And yeah, I can stand up to the people that say terminally ill, super pain, all that. I can stand up to them because that isn't who we're giving this to. That's a small percentage. That isn't who we're giving this to. And we have palliative care. We do have medical advancements. We can make people comfortable. And I also say that too because my young brother, he was 17 when he got hit by the car. He never woke up again. His brain detached. And for 3 years, his biological father kept him alive on machines while his body completely deteriorated. So I understand completely why some people choose maids. It is hard. It is hard seeing your loved one deteriorate. It sucks. But it's not a system that I support. I support end of life care, life affirming care, and that's where I stand on that one. It may put me into the far right category in a lot of people's definition. But if that makes me far right, come say hi and then we won't be so far apart. Because at the end of the day, I love your unborn child. I love your grandmother. I love your family member who's dealing with mental illness so much that I'll take your attacks if you don't like what I have to say. And to all the people that attack me online for abortion, your mother was pro life. You wouldn't be here. So every single one of you are the result of the choice counter to your message. So that would be genetic based abortions. They did a test, found some genetics, gave you the answer, and said, "Hey, look, you want to take that out?" That's exactly what we should not be doing. And then ditto, absolutely, for any other reason, including sex. Like, are you really proud that there were Canadians choosing to end a female's life or a male's life? Are you really proud that we're in a country where we have that checkbox? Reason? Undesired gender or sex. China did that with their one child policy. Many parents got rid of the girl. Now you have a society where it's really overpopulated on the male side, not enough females. You got all other problems. We should not ever be doing that. Nobody should be playing God.